This Hammers Chat video is brought to you in conjunction with Football Index. Football Index allows you to trade real players for real money to make real profits. Use your West Ham nous or wider football knowledge to invest in players whose value you think will increase. As the player's value grows, so does your money. As a special Hammers Chat offer, Football Index will give you a bonus 20 quid when you deposit £20 of your own money in a newly registered account. Simply click the link underneath this video to register and input the code HAMMERS20 to get your bonus 20 quid and to start trading today.
Right, before I start this rant, and I am going to rant, I should probably say that Football Index is betting and players' values can go down as well as up. So gamble aware and gamble responsibly. And I'll tell you what, there'll be a few players whose value has gone down today because that was an absolute shambles. I shouldn't be surprised. I'm not surprised. That's the thing. Anybody that saw the preview would know you cannot do that in these games. You cannot muck around because, quite frankly, that was 4-0 and it could have been 7. I think there were at least 2 really good saves from the keeper. I think they hit the bar from a free kick as well. That was absolutely ridiculous. Now, I've got to say, at the end, Diop, the players were embarrassed, and rightly so. Diop came over and to give his shirt, and actually Fornals came all the way over and said sorry, gave his shirt to a lad and said, you know, sorry about that. So at least they had the bottle to come over. But that's terrible. And I tell you what, they actually better go to Bournemouth and win handsomely now, because basically what's just happened is we've just thrown the League Cup so as we can field a strong team against Bournemouth. I don't know why. I mean, it's not a million miles away. It's only in Oxford. You know, we've not come to Timbuktu here or anything like that. Why they can't just play the strongest team and then, you know, just not train for a couple of days, I don't know. But that is absolutely ridiculous. What can I say about the team? Go over the positives first, I guess, in the first half, which was a terrible half, devoid of any sort of skill or endeavour or ambition, when we rarely threatened. They were better in the first half as well, Oxford. Probably Zabaleta could come away with some credit. Nathan Holland made his debut, and to be fair, on 2 or 3 occasions he did actually dribble into the box and tried to make things happen. I felt sorry for Nathan having his collar felt and being taken off, being hooked off, the first player. There's so much of that was wrong. You've seen Fornals wide again. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Masuaku had a terrible game. You'd think Masuaku would have something to prove, really, bearing in mind Cresswell's probably gone in and taken his place, bearing in mind he got sent off. It was a terrible, terrible performance from him as well. In the midfield was so slow. Sanchez, I mean, it was awful today. Fornals was in there. Wilshere was in there. Wilshere, but the wrong player was taken off in Wilshere. When Holland came off, we were left with Fornals on one wing, and Snodgrass had moved over to the middle as well, and it was just so slow. We had no pace whatsoever. He went to 4-4-2. He brought Haller on to go up front with Ajeti. I don't want to go too hard on Ajeti because we've barely seen him play. He's not fit. He's clearly not fit, and he's not fit because he's not playing games. But he wasn't reading the flick-ons that Haller was doing. Haller was trying to make things happen. Ajeti just wasn't reading it at all. I can really go down and scrutinise every single player's performance, but number one, I've got to upload the video to get it out because obviously it's getting late. And number two, I don't think it is necessarily all about the players. I think if we play our first team, number one, it sends out a signal. Number two, there's better players on the pitch. The moment you don't, you're running the risk of surrendering it. And I'll tell you what, there was a shot across the bows of what happened with Tottenham last night as well. And this was always a risk that this was going to happen to West Ham. I mean, just time and time again, it was deja vu. It reminded me of Wimbledon, where that was utter capitulation as well. And we just don't ever learn. I just don't understand why we don't take the cup seriously at all. And for that, you've got to blame the manager for that. Because I'll tell you what, he's got to go to Bournemouth, as I said, and win now, and got to win handsomely. I'm absolutely gobsmacked. That was terrible. It was terrible in terms of endeavour. There was no pace, there was no urgency, there was no creativity. And when we went a goal behind, and then 2 goals behind, we lacked any sort of idea. I never felt that we were ever going to get into it. We waited until right near the end. I think it was something, maybe 86, 87 minutes. Anderson had come on by that point. And I'm mindful that many of you haven't seen it. It was not on the telly. You've not seen a stream or anything like that. We had a shot. That was our first shot of the half. Meanwhile, at the other end, our keeper's pulling off world-class save after world-class save. He did 3 Gordon Banks saves, for goodness sake. It was absolutely ridiculous. I didn't think the keeper had it in him, but, you know, it doesn't look like he's too big. And I'm not really going to blame it on him. No urgency. I just didn't feel that the players were up for it at any point. And that's got to come from somewhere. And it's no coincidence that this keeps on happening. Quite frankly, I mean, there was booing at the end, and I can understand it. You know, I really, really can. A message has got to get through to the players, and I don't mean all the players, but the players that were on the pitch tonight, and certainly the manager, to take these cups seriously. We've still got the FA Cup. We've got to go for it. That nobody seems to care. I felt sorry for Noble when he came on, because he was trying to drive the team forward. He actually played the best pass of the whole game when he did come on, but too little, too late. Haller, Noble and Anderson were all brought on off the bench. They all should have started, along with many others. Anyway, look, you know what, I'm frustrated. I'm going to try and get this uploaded. I'll try and do a more measured video tomorrow on the forum channel, but bad news, sorry to bring you such a bad video. Terrible.